Here's a question for you. Is it our patriotic duty to pay taxes? It's a great time to ask our resident wealth strategist and tax attorney, Rebecca Walser. Good morning.
Good morning,
Welcome
Carly.
back.
Thank you so much.
Oh, these are important times right
That's
now.
right,
We have the election literally days away.
Days away. Absolutely, absolutely. So it's a great question. You know, you hear it argued all the time. You know, you have this patriotic duty to pay taxes.
To vote, pay taxes.
That's right, vote and pay taxes. And the truth is, Carly, we do have a duty to pay taxes. But the truth also is that we don't have a duty to pay taxes beyond what the tax code requires.
Okay.
And so, you know, sometimes people feel like they're sort of being shaken down by Uncle Sam. He's getting every last dollar and penny kind of out of him. And this is like...
A lot of people feel like this.
Is it time for a new tax strategy, right? But what we want to talk about is the seminal case in 1934. U.S. Supreme Court actually decided this, and this is still the black and white letter law of the land, Gregory versus Halvery. And basically, what came out of this case is this quote right here: the legal right of a taxpayer to decrease the amount of what otherwise would be his taxes or altogether avoid them by means of which the law permits cannot be doubted. So what that means is there's a tax code. It is now thousands and thousands of pages thick, and as long as you're following it and you're paying what you should be paying under the code, then you are actually doing your patriotic duty. The problem is, if we go to the next slide, what we see, and this actually is from that case in the 1930s. Okay. The judge that argued on behalf of the U.S. taxpayer, which is Judge Leonard Hand, he actually argued in the 1930s that there were two systems of taxation in our country, one for the informed and one for the uninformed. And this was in the 1930s. So imagine now, Carly, all of these regulations later, all of these implementations later, people do not know what the code says.
Well, I was just going to say, when you talk about tax code, I would imagine that the average American probably does not.
They don't. They absolutely don't. And so understand it's your patriotic duty, but you only have to pay according to what the tax code is.
So, important step here, I'd imagine, is finding somebody who does know the tax code.
That's right, absolutely.
Which, how often does it change? I mean, is this something that you constantly have to be updated on and in the know for?
It's very fluid. Well, because there's the law. Congress writes the actual tax law, but then the Treasury Department, through the IRS and through just different regulations, writes all kinds of revenue rulings, PLRs, which is private letter rulings, all kinds of things that we as tax lawyers have to follow when we're implementing the code. And so those are things you have to constantly be informed on.
And that's what I love about your team. When you talk about wealth management, there is this whole separate, a big part of the piece of this puzzle is the taxes, how much you're paying in taxes, and they really have to work hand in hand, and you have to have an expert that knows. That's right. You know why that's so important.
That's one of the biggest things that is missing with upper income, high net worth earners with wealth managers is they don't understand the tax piece of it, and you can't really have one without the other.
Well, if someone's watching this morning, they want to find out more, they want to hear more about your team, maybe what you can do for them. What's the best advice? What would you have them do, Rebecca?
I would definitely have them reach out, call our office, go to our website. We're right here. We're national practice, but we're based right here in the Tampa area, and we'd love to talk to them.
All right. And again, as we mentioned, it is a big time. I know you're watching elections just a couple days away, so stay tuned. We look forward to having you back.
Thank you, Carly.
As well.
Thank you.
Of course, to get a hold of Rebecca or her team, there is the information there on your screen where you can do it, but we'll also put it on our website, tvmorningblend.com.